and welcome to Blockchain and Gaming World with me, John Jordan. So, second video with Cryptopunks. So, did a first video about Cryptopunks, and then I spent a bit more time looking at Cryptopunks and found out a few more things. So, I'm not going to go explaining what Cryptopunks is, other than to say that it is a blockchain project. 10,000 of these punks. They don't have any value apart from their static value. So you can see here, the interesting thing about them is the only way you can really access them is through the developers page, Lava Labs. So you can't sell them on OpenSea. So this is kind of like a centralized centralized marketplace for these decentralized owned assets to run on Ethereum. So we have some interesting stats here. So we have an estimated market cap. Total value of all sales to date, 429,000. Average sale price, 0.5 ETH. That's a bit meaningless considering these have been around for 2 years. So what I hadn't really been looking at before was the actual website. So there is some interesting stuff here. So we can see here recent transactions 31 seconds ago. So we can see here the purple ones means someone is bidding on these. So the owner does not have to obviously accept a bid. We can see here. This one here has been had a bid of 0.9 ETH, so $200. These ones that are in red are ones that are for sale. So the owner has put in a sale price for these, that they've set a sale price, and if someone meets that sale price, then obviously that sale will go through. You can see here some quite weird stuff here. Someone's offered 90 ETH, $200,000. For this one, we have some zombie ones here. Seems to be quite a lot of activity going on with zombies at the moment at pretty high levels, pretty high value. There's not many zombies around. We can see here. So these are there's 850 Cryptopunks for sale at the moment. These are all the ones in purple. These are all the ones with ongoing bids. 34,000 bids, $34,000 worth of bids on 1,116, and then we see the sales that have just gone through. So the average sale price of a punk is 0.53, so that's the one we kind of saw before. And these are the most recent sales. So there is actually some more interesting. There is a better kind of a way of seeing what's going on here. There is actually this is actually the best way of doing it. So you can search the punks. So we could do for something. We could say look at zombies. So zombie. All the punks have different attributes. So there's 88 punks are zombies. So zombies are the green ones with the green faces. Obviously, there are 2 currently for sale. You can see they are going currently for sale for fairly large sums of money, $4,000 and $10,000. The 24 most recent sales. You can see what's kind of happened here. So 2 years ago, these were selling for 1 ETH pretty steadily, and then they start going going up in price. We've gone here for 5 ETH, and now we have one today just gone for 11 ETH. So that's the most expensive zombie that's gone. And the thing about CryptoPunks is they all have different attributes. So we can see here, start getting an idea. This one has a medical mask on and glasses. These ones have hats and goatees. These ones have kind of weird specs. These ones have like a VR mask on. This one has a hoodie on. This kind of eye patch. Let me see how these have basically been procedurally generated. We can see here some bids going on here. So we have some bids 11, 10, 12 ETH. And then we can also see there are 38 wallets who own zombie Cryptopunks, and the most active, the biggest one has 18, and he was active 6 days ago. The other interesting thing is you can see a lot of these ones. People own these and they've last active 2 years ago. So whether these punks are actually available to be bought, whether these wallets are actually still people can access these, hard to tell in the blockchain space, but kind of interesting anyway. So we can have a look at zombies, or we could go to a bit more. We could look at that. What we're saying, medical. I guess kind of currently is interesting. So these are the ones with medical masks on. So we have 175. Punks with medical masks currently for sale, fairly expensive. This one here is 100 ETH, so that's the sale price if you want to buy that. Some of these have sold to 1.6, 1.8, kind of selling fairly recently. We've got some bids going on here, so we can kind of get an idea of what's going on. Again, here's the owners. The biggest owner has 11 of these, not been very active recently. So it's kind of interesting. Something else we could look at, which is interesting, is, so this will take a bit of time to load. So the Cryptopunks are basically split between male and female, and there are 10,000 punks in total. So we can see there are many more male punks than female punks. So only 3,840 female punks. And let's go through all this. So we can see here 271 currently for sale. Cheapest one, this is always listed cheapest. So the cheapest one is a 1.5 ETH. Actually quite a lot for 1.5 ETH, and we can see the most expensive ones down the bottom. This one I don't even quite know what that is. 10Z. I don't know, but this is what there's some here for. This one here is for $224 million. Unlikely, I think, to be sold, but we can kind of see. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Okay, we'll look. So this is another one. This is a female punk. Her accessories are dark hair and clown blue eyes, and then we can kind of see some of the what's been going on here. So when she was claimed, and then there was some offers going on here. Then she was sold for 0.16 ETH in a long time ago now, and the kind of bids and sales going on here for quite a small amount of money. Sold for 0.41 ETH in a year ago now, and now someone's I don't know quite what's going on here. Offered 100 or offered 10 to the Z. That's the offer price. That's the offer price. So the owner is saying you can buy this off me for this. Why would you do that? And then some hilarious joker has put in a bid of 0.005 ETH, $1. So it's a bit ridiculous. And another kind of attribute to look at, so we could go in a bit more detailed into the kind of female, and we can look at pink as an attribute, and we can see here. So pink is a kind of sub attribute for the female Cryptopunks. So there's only 95 punks have pink. There's pink hair. There's only one for sale, which is currently for 5.99 ETH, $1,340. And we can see here there have been some sales, but they've been it's a kind of. Again, we can see something that's happened with Cryptopunks over the last in recent days. These were selling pretty cheap, or not pretty cheaply, relatively now we say pretty cheaply. It was under 1 ETH, and then suddenly we see the price starting to go up for these things are seen as being kind of more valuable. So it is interesting. I guess the other. Let's look at one more. So you've seen some of these ones with VR. So there's 332 with VRs. So it's kind of interesting. Something like pink hair. It's kind of is that an interesting attribute? Well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. VR, you can imagine being something kind of seen as playing into kind of a wider memes. If VR suddenly is going to get big over the next 5 years, then maybe these ones will be more valuable. And actually, this is not particularly expensive. 0.85 ETH for the cheapest VR. Cryptopunk, and we see recent sales. Obviously, you start to kind of, if you had, I don't think there is any pink, because these are, I think the VR ones, are they all male? No, they're not. But I don't think there's a pink one with VR by the looks of things. So we can quickly see one. So you kind of see how these attributes layer up. Anyway, the other interesting thing to see is. If we go to, this is the worst attribute to choose, the male. So this is obviously the biggest kind of single attribute is male. So it'll take a long time to kind of throw this out. But what is interesting here is if we go to, because there doesn't seem to be any way of working out which are the cheapest. If you just ask which are the cheapest punks for sale, it can't do that. But we know because it lists the ones that are for sale in the cheapest order. So this, and males being the biggest subgroup, that's how we can kind of get to have a look at what the cheapest ones are at the moment. So we have 575 currently for sale, and so the cheapest punk that is for sale at the moment is 0.59 ETH. Obviously, the female ones, there's less of them, and they're a lot more expensive. If you remember, the cheapest female Cyberpunk CryptoPunk for sale was over 1 ETH, so it's quite a big kind of premium if you want to buy a female one. Arguably, there's less of them, and maybe in some other ways they're more seen as aesthetically more attractive or valuable. But obviously, the other thing to think about is with these CryptoPunks is they have no value other than the aesthetic value that the market is placing on them. So it doesn't really matter, I guess, to some degree, why the female ones are more valuable. They just clearly are more valuable, and the male ones, you know, you can make lots of propositions about why these things are the case. But you know, in a sense, all you can say is these ones are more expensive. You could then have to speculate about what reasons there are. So these are the male ones. So we can see these are the cheapest ones. Now, can you make money buying and selling CryptoPunks? I have absolutely no idea. Obviously, the weird thing for CryptoPunks is there's only 10,000 of them. So there is this scarcity. There's no more being made, and they have no value other than the value that the market sets upon them. The value has definitely been going up over the last few months. But equally, there is a large amount of CryptoPunks which are not for sale. So it is, in a sense, this is the value at the moment. But if suddenly they start getting much more valuable, then many of the owners will then start selling them, and then would demand be available to kind of soak up all the ones that went for sale. So it's always that kind of issue. I don't think you're ever gonna. I wouldn't invest in these in the hope of making money. But they are interesting in the sense as a project. There's never going to be any more of them. They have been around for 2 years. And I guess the other interesting thing is that if the price of ETH keeps going up, does that make them more valuable or less valuable because you're spending more money to get them in the first place? Very hard to judge, I think. But I think it is interesting. I do also think that it is quite an inefficient market because the only way you can access this kind of information is to go through the Lava Labs website and kind of do some manipulation and try and work this stuff out. There's not I guess you could scrape the data and build your own kind of bot system. I'm sure people are doing that. If there's ways of making money, people are trying to make money from it. But it is kind of interesting to kind of play with some ideas about why these things may be more valuable than others and how that will change over time. Anyway, it's just a video. I'm kind of interested in CryptoPunks at the moment, so I'm doing a few videos around that. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel where we all we do is think about blockchain games. Not that this is a game really, but it has some I think some pretty interesting pointers towards the value of NFTs in blockchain games as well, which is why I'm doing it. But thanks for watching the video and hope to see you again soon.